week's episode of the Prophetic Trumpet. We want to thank you for joining us. We are 18 weeks in as of this taping for the Prophetic Unveiling. It seems like a very long series. There's an awful lot here, and hopefully we've been able to clear up for you why certain things have occurred and even given to you really an idea of some of the things to come and why they have or why they are to come. Now, how ironic that as we look back the last 2 weeks, because we are in the final installment of this small section within the Prophetic Unveiling with the Ties to Revelation. This is the Ties to Revelation chapter 3 or episode 3, however you want to put it. And last week we unveiled this map and we showed how ironic it is that Greenland is being pushed by the President of the United States as well as Canada to become part of the United States. And we asked the question, is this a coincidence or is this a plan that coincides with the wishes of the Club of Rome? Now, the Club of Rome dates back to 1968. You will find that in the first installment of this mini portion. That would be 3 episodes ago, so go back to episode 15 if you have not seen that. But that's what they proposed, and the ties to the Club of Rome and the ties to the Bible are actually very interesting and very ironic, believe it or not. Now, I'd like you to turn to Revelation 17 for those of you that are going to have your Bibles handy and want to take some notes here, because I'm about ready to give you some revelation, no pun intended. I'm going to unveil something that is not commonly taught in the book of Revelation when prophecy is taught. Specifically as it regards from chapter 13 and onward, and this time of the Great Tribulation. Now, in Revelation 17, I'd like you to take a look at verse 12. It says, "The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet." In other words, they're large but not in charge. Interesting. And they receive the authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. Okay, that would be the Antichrist and his system. These are of one mind, so they're all of one accord, and I don't mean driving in a Honda. And they will give their power and authority to the beast. So they're going to be in charge of these respective regions for 1 hour and then submit their control and their authority to this one world ruler to be known as the beast, or in Christian terms, the Antichrist as well. So I want my mom to buckle up here because she's about ready to hear something from the preacher she hasn't heard for quite a long time, and that is, I was wrong. Okay. I'm going to tell everybody that follows our ministry, I have taught you wrong. For anybody that has followed our ministry for the past 20 years, which there is next to nobody, honestly, but nonetheless, I want to let you know that I have taught you wrong, and I'm about ready to clear that up and tell you why that's wrong. Okay, so for years I have taught that the United States of America is not in the Bible. And there is no mention of the name of the United States of America anywhere in the Bible to be found. There's theories that some people believe indicate the United States of America, but they do not legitimately indicate the United States of America. But guess what? Geographically, the United States of America is in the Bible. Today, I am publicly telling you that I am wrong. The United States of America is in the Bible. It is among the 10 nations that is listed here and that will be submitted to the beast. So geographically, the United States of America is in the Bible. And since this occurs in Revelation 17, it is after the rapture. So in other words, those that will be transformed in the moment, the flash, and the twinkling of an eye, to go up to heaven, be called up, to take off the corruptible and put on the incorruptible, and take off the perishable and put on the imperishable, guess what? You don't have to deal with this. That should be all of you, I would hope, but nonetheless. So after the seizing of Jerusalem and after the implementation of the beast system in Revelation 13, we will see these 10 nations come together, and these rulers of these 10 nations, these 10 geographic regions come together, and then submit their authority to the beast. Now, it's unknown if the Club of Rome is the same map that I showed you last week and the 10-nation divide that John foresaw on the island of Patmos. But numerically, it has commonality. Now also, notice the similarity here with the Club of Rome plan, and that each region, or the 10 nations, were not united under one ruler initially. The Club of Rome, as I explained to you, does not seek a one world government. It seeks one ruler per region, or of the 10 nations. There would be 10 rulers, and there would be a consolidation of resources and financial means and economics, and amongst other things, to be able to carry this out. But again, hang with me here. This vision is from 1968, mind you. The Club of Nations reported this in 1972. We covered this last week. The information for that is last week's in the notes section. You can go and click on that link and you can read it yourself. This is nothing that I'm making up. This is nothing this platform should ban me for. This is out there and it's in the wide open. Now, this means initially that the beast system will begin in a region, a specific region, and then these nations will eventually merge and submit to the Antichrist under their respective rulers. And he will spread it globally, akin to the plan of the World Economic Forum and the United Nations. This individual is known as the Antichrist because his chief trait is that he is against Christianity. He is against the sovereign ruler of the world named Jesus Christ. Now this would mean, buckle up here, this would mean that, as we discussed in previous installments of the prophetic trumpet in 2024, that the technology for that system, which is in existence, by the way, and will be united, that is, under artificial intelligence by this ruler, and will perpetuate the vision of the World Economic Forum and the United Nations of a ruler that rules with technology. Now there's a big 17-letter word for that, but I'm not going to get into that. I try to keep this very easy to understand. Now this vision is a higher technological version of what was projected in World War II Germany and cast by the former leader of the World Economic Forum, who has recently stepped down, mind you. But he's been replaced now with a man with a similar vision who believes water is a commodity and not a human right. So we can't believe we got any better on that exchange, now can we? So this ruler brings together, and I don't mean the respective ruler of the World Economic Forum that we just spoke of, but this ruler that we're referring to, known as the Antichrist or the Beast, he will bring together and will rule politically and spiritually over the people of the earth, along with his tag team partner, who is known as the false prophet. Many of us would know him as the Pope. Now, it's kind of ironic because he's also in the news of late, or at least that position is, along with the prophecies, the Catholic prophecies regarding that position. Now these two, when these two join together, they will represent a great deal of authority, and the great number of people will bow down to this authority, and even if it means putting them under quarantine for the common good. Now, why would that be necessary, you may ask? Well, I want you to catch what Revelation says here. Revelation is the guidebook for what we're talking about today. In Revelation 16, there are 7 bowl judgments. Number 1, there will be sores on the people who took the mark of the beast system, and they will be in absolute agony and beg to die, but death will be taken from them. Number 2, the bowl number 2, the sea will turn to blood and all sea life will die. Can you imagine how catastrophic that is going to be on the Golden Coast of California? So that's bowl number 2. Imagine the kind of nutritional deficiencies there will be in island nations like Japan, for instance. So bowl number 3 is the rivers and springs, as a repercussion, will also be affected by this turning of blood. Number 4, bowl number 4, the sun will produce an uncommon level of heat. Some have speculated with solar flares jetting outward and being able to scorch human beings. I think that's a little isolated for my taste. I think it's just fervent heat, maybe possibly God thumbing his nose at those people that say that the climate has this erratic behavior. Not for certain. Bull number 5, by the way, is the beast kingdom will, and this will be the specific region in which this person ascends from and rules from before he takes over the entire world. His kingdom will be plunged into darkness. Plain and simple, there will be no light there. So I guess they're going to go carbon zero. That kind of happened recently too, now didn't it? To a couple of respective nations. Now, somehow this is going to produce, this darkness will produce hunger and pain, according to Revelation 16. Now, the bowl number 6, this is interesting. The Euphrates River is going to dry up. That's very instrumental for a military operation that will lead into the return of Jesus Christ, interestingly enough. Bowl number 7 is Rome itself is hit with a massive earthquake and 100-pound hailstones. So all of you roofing people out there that like to exploit the opportunity to put new roofs and gain some money by talking to the insurance companies and doing business with them, boy, you are going to have a fantastic time with this, because 100-pound hailstones are going to fall from the sky and kill the multitude. Let me tell you, it's going to be an incredible encounter. That's what happens in Revelation 16. So when you get to Revelation 17, and these nations eventually submit their control and power to one man, one ruler, and his tag team partner, the false prophet, guess what? He's going to put everybody under quarantine for the common good. Now, as these disasters occur, there will be a push to consolidate resources, and for rightfully sound reasons. I mean, the water supply is going to be absolutely ruined. There will be a power control or a power trip. There will be a move to control people for the common good. And this is where smart cities just may come into play. Now, you can check it out in the notes here. Despite anybody who wants to proclaim they're against this sort of thing, or whoever is president, the march for them continues to go on, because you can look it up in the links. There are smart city summits going on all around the world on a regular basis, where the people that are behind this movement are meeting and discussing how to implement these sort of things upon all of us. Now, this weekend, there is a smart city conference going on here locally. I'm in Texas, as if you can't tell by the hat. This is the second year for this. The first time, at the top of April, that is the second conference this year, I should say. The first one was at the top of April in San Antonio. Now, as these develop and the need for land and raw minerals are needed to develop a smart city, each kingdom will already have them ready to go. And that's where we get into kind of setting the stage for Prophetic Unveiling Week 19, which is next week. I'm going to talk to you about what is going on with that and the areas that have already signed on to become smart cities. These are things, this is an instance, this is an occurrence that nobody voted on, but your elected officials have decided, we're going to change your way of life, and we're going to change it regardless of what you want. And we're going to put you in a system that will be absolutely ruled by technology. If you don't know what that means, I would encourage you, even as a Christian, to step outside the box and outside your comfort zone. Heaven forbid you watch a rated R movie and take a look at the movie Dread, D-R-E-D-D. That will give you an idea of what a smart city looks like, because it's called Mega City 1. Cannot encourage you to watch that movie enough. It's gory, there's some nudity in it. Heaven forbid there's some bad language, but it'll give you an idea as to what a smart city looks like. If you can't handle that, then go the route with Terminator. The Terminator series, specifically 1 and 2 more so, will give you an idea as to what it's like to be ruled by technology. Because you got to remember, a lot of what Hollywood does has been controlled by the people that are the absolute barometers as to what's happening in this world. And they are forecasting it and showing it to us in spite of ourselves and telling us to be ready. Now, all that being said, we want to thank you for joining us for this week's Prophetic Trumpet. Join us next week, as I said, as we dig into smart cities And please like and share this message. Get the truth of God's Word out there and how it correlates with what it is that is happening and being built today, and how everybody can profit from understanding this, and do whatever you can and how you are led to spread the gospel truth of Jesus Christ. Now, that being said, go out and be the light of the world.